تصنع المستحيل.
You are listening to the Mid Morning Talk on Slam Media with me, Mario Makwanda. It is 17 now, 17 minutes past 12. And our hit list for today is Nompilo Nxumalo, the founder of Cool Green Hands. At 28, Nompilo is the owner of a waste recycling company and buyback center, Cool Green Hands, which is based in Richards Bay. She is also a finalist in the 2021 Santam Women of the Future Awards under the Rising Star category, and she is on the line to share her story with us. Good day, Nompilo. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So you have a very interesting story to tell. When did it all begin?
It actually begins when I was doing business management, and the idea of the kind of industry that I'm at actually emerged when I had to think of a business that I must venture into because of my background. So I was not going to go for a seasonal business. I wanted an ongoing business that will include day-to-day operations and also that will not be shaken easily with times, as we are at time whereby there is industrial revolution taking place that affect many businesses. So I had to think of what I'm going to do that will actually be here today and also tomorrow and also the day after tomorrow, in fact, for a lifetime.
And now speaking about, wanting to have a sustainable business that will be here for time, how was the company affected by the pandemic?
It was actually affected because we had to close and we opened on level 3, and then with the banning of alcohol, as we are also selling aluminum cans and they carry alcohol. So with the banning of alcohol, we had to stop with that project at that time. So that's how it was affected. And also it was affected because we also work with malls. And then when the shops are closing, we cannot access the waste materials. And also with the permit issue, our informal pickers were not allowed to go out and collect waste and then come to and sell to us. So we were also affected as much.
And have you recovered since, moving back to level 3, and well, now we are in level 1?
Yes, we have recovered because we are working with SAPI, and SAPI, they were not closed during that time. So we had a permit to carry on with our duties and supply them. So we have recovered, I must say. But in terms of our aluminum can operation, I will not lie and say we have recovered on that. We have not yet recovered because we actually took what we had and work on what we were able to do at that time. And then it has been hard regaining that strength to actually do the operation with our big client, which is Hulamin. So we haven't been able to supply them with the promised and matched tonnages as we used to do before the pandemic.
And how does it feel being in a male-dominated industry?
Yeah, that is the question. For me, it feels like I am the she on the his world. Because sometimes I forget that sometimes I forget that I'm a woman. Because you have to be tough. You have to be engaging on a man-to-man conversation sometimes. So I end up not realizing that I'm actually a woman. So there are challenges. There are challenges because sometimes you feel that the industry believes that you are not entitled to anything in that male-dominant industry. And then being the newcomer as myself, in our industry, my fellow colleagues, they feel that they are entitled to everything that has to do with waste material because it was actually an ignored industry before. But now that we are coming abroad, we are venturing in, we are coming with new ideas, they're starting to think that they own the market, which is not good in terms of the business. So there are challenges, I won't lie, because as a woman, as a young one, you came after, and it's like you are taking the limelight, and like now I think you are entering somebody's territory, as they are saying it. So sometimes you have to engage with older people, and those people are old enough to father you, and you have to engage in a manner that you are not at home. You forget that sometimes there is a respect in between because work is work. So you have to be a shiro sometimes. You forget that you are a woman, you are a lady, and you become a shiro in his world, and things get tough every day.
Of course, I mean, nothing is ever easy. It's just that, you have to have the neck for it to be in such an industry. In fact, the majority of the industries that we have available are male dominated. So are we going to sit back and then just watch and complain, or are we actually going to step in and do something about it? Now, you spoke a little bit about the challenges of being a woman in the industry. What about some of the challenges of being, of starting the business and running it?
There are challenges of starting a business because, for one, many businesses, they do not survive even a year because we do not engage in a study. We do not do a feasibility study. We do not do a viability study. We do not actually believe in those terminologies. But in essence, they are very important in any kind of business because I believe that if you put more effort in any kind of business that you want to venture into, it will actually work. It will actually be sustainable, given you are dedicating your time, yourself, your energy, and your effort to that kind of business. Because the only thing that's lack is information. We all sometimes think of money. That should I get this sum of money, I will be able to do this and that. But then the money comes, you're not able to actually consume the money in a way that is profitable, in a way that it will sustain your business because you forgot the major background, which is information, which is a research on your line of work. So those challenges, I think it's because we do not spend more time researching. We are more on a time where we want to see money, we want to make money. Unfortunately, for my line of work, it's a cash business. It's cash every day. So I see money every day, but at the end of the day, it's like there are papers. They should balance at the end of the day. They should balance because once I make that mistake again, then I won't be able to survive because I won't sit here and say, I haven't made a mistake financially in my business. I did.
Yeah, and then all those mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's part of learning, it's part of growing. If you didn't learn from that mistake, then that's the biggest mistake you can ever make. So it's part of the learning process. Now, you are a finalist for the Rising Star category in the Santam Women of the Future Awards. How does that feel, and what are some of your other notable achievements?
Being the finalist on the Rising Star, it felt so good. And you know what? It served the purpose before the actual event because many things have happened. Doors have been opened just by being the finalist. So it has served the purpose for me. And for mentioning other things that I have achieved I can say this month, it's actually being the finalist and also being one of the beneficiaries on the Hollywood Bag in partnership with Nomza Mombasa and Carol Chabalala, Empowering Her campaign. I'm one of their beneficiaries as well. And also on ShopRite, hustling, and also on ShopRite, Hustling Competition 2021. I'm also their beneficiary as well. So I can say this month I've got those to count, which I feel like I'm privileged to have been believed to be the suitable candidate to actually receive such.
Wow, congratulations on your new achievements thus far. I mean, like you said, being a finalist has already given you that platform and has already opened the doors. So that means that you have taken a step in the right direction. Now, opportunities are difficult to come by. What can young people do to create opportunities for themselves, just as you have created an opportunity for yourself?
My advice would be look around you, you know, because I was always a person that wanted to do her own thing, to be my own boss. As I resigned at the Department of Justice, I was an intern. I was working on a position because I was fortunate enough that on my arrival, somebody was dismissed at work, and then I was working on a position, and I was told that, Nompilo, you might get this. But then when I came across an article that says there's a company that wants to fund any young individual that wants to venture into business, I didn't think twice. I applied and I took that and left that position because I knew from the start that I want to run a business that will benefit my people, benefit my family, and also benefit myself. So I'm trying to say you don't have to think like, oh my word, but I'm going just look around you and see what are you going to use to solve any problem that you see around you. Because for me, I come from a very big family. They used to collect waste. They still do because I don't do all kind of waste because I cannot do everything, basically. So they used to collect waste and then hire transport to town. And then I thought to myself, what if I bring this closer to them? By so doing, I will be creating a more sustainable platform for them to actually sell every day for their bread. And also, I will be cutting costs for them. They won't have to hire a transport. And then obviously, as a businesswoman, I will add a markup on that, and then I'll be making a profit as well. So that's how this whole thing started for me. I looked around me, I looked closely around me on what problems are my people facing, on what problems are the universe or the environment are facing, and then how am I going to make that work for me and also work for the people around me.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And you grew up looking after your brothers. In fact, your parent company is named after them. Well, what message would you like to give to your brothers and perhaps to any other young audience, anyone who is watching and listening?
All I can say is that we do not choose life,
Mm-hmm.
basically, but we can choose where we want to go with our life. I was a very young girl. I could have done anything, you know. I could have ignored the fact that I was now the the head of the family because when my mother passed on, I was doing grade 11. My mother was receiving a grant for my two brothers, my two younger brothers. And then nobody told me that I have to go to SASA now and apply for that grant to be under my name. So my first trip to SASA was not for my own children, but it was for my brothers. And I do not regret anything because they have made me so proud. The other one is there in Cape Town by SA Defense Force. He's the combat officer now. So I do not regret anything because they have done me so proud. So all I can say to any young individual out there, maybe somebody has lost the parent, has lost the guardian. All I can say is that it's not the end of the world. It's only a matter of you deciding on what are you going to do and how are you going to do it. And then you just start doing what you think is best. And in the process, God will provide. God will
Mm-hmm.
provide. He always guides. Mm.
Right. Thank you so much for your time, Nompilo, and for that beautiful advice. Indeed, God will provide. It's just that it's not the way that we see it, but God does and will provide. Good luck with your future endeavors, and maybe we'll catch up with you soon.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Bye bye. Nompilo Nxumalo, the founder of Cool Green Hands, and she is also a finalist in the 2021 Santam Women of the Future Awards under the Rising Star category, doing wonderful things in the recycling industry. And the market is not saturated. It's never saturated. As Nompilo said, she does not do everything because she can't do everything, but there's an opportunity for you as well. You can also start doing it. You can also get into the market and take a different route because, I mean, the pie is big enough for all of us to eat. You will face challenges where there will be people who think that they are better than you because they've been in the industry long enough, but use what you've got to get to where you want to be. I mean, we now have technology, we have social media, etc. So these tools can help you reach far and to become bigger. So don't just sit on the ideas. If you have an idea, start, run with it. Use what you've got to get to where you want to be. Stay with us. We will be right back after the break.
Medicine